If you haven't liked or subscribed,
You're gonna be joking me.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Fans View podcast. This week, and I have to look at my notes, I have a woman trained by Sho Funaki, trained by Samoan himself, the daddy of the Usos, Rikishi, and also mentored by Bobby Blaze. Without further ado, I present to you guys the Chainsaw Queen herself, Black.
Dad? Oh, guys, I am the Chainsaw Queen of professional wrestling.
Right. So I would ask you how you're doing, Dahlia, but it seems like you're doing pretty well, all things considered.
Crippled. God has
So let's just lead off with that. You are currently a professional wrestler that can't wrestle, unfortunately, due to an injury and now a chronic disease that's been affecting your ability to get back in the ring. Can you talk a little bit about that?
That's so correct and beautifully put. Thank you for wording that so accurately. Honestly, God knew what he was doing by making me sick and crippled, obviously. Like, if you believe in God or whatever God you worship, but obviously there's a bigger picture and bigger plan, destiny, whatever you want to call it. He knew what he was doing by making me, the black sheep of the family, this inspirational crippled. Like, I literally pray to God and talk to him like this. Like, I literally contemplate suicide sometimes just so I can talk to him and ask him what was he thinking to make me the chosen one? You know what I'm saying? You know, like, when you think of inspiration to Google and, like, show your child, you know, like, hey, Dad, this is inspiration. Look up to this. John Cena, Make-A-Wish, right? No, it's me. It's me. I'm like a Jay Silent Bob, Deadpool movie, like, with my chainsaw, you know?
So eloquently put.
So the way I cope with my sickness is by making jokes, but it is a very serious condition. CRPS, complex regional pain syndrome, is something I suffer and battle with every single second and every single day of my life. And a wrestling injury activated this disease. And as if it's tragic enough to get this sickness, I went undiagnosed for 7 years. And this disease is not for the faint of heart. CRPS is the most painful disease known to mankind. When you get diagnosed with the sickness, immediately the treatments are pain pills, ketamine infusion treatments, which is like opioids, liquid opioids, and I just found out it's like horse tranks, and it's $500 just to be hooked up to that every single week. $500 a week just to stay alive. Raw dogged this for 6.5 years without a diagnosis and no pain meds. And this is nicknamed the suicide disease. And people are killing themselves to escape the pain they're in, even when they get diagnosed, even when they're on pain pills, and even when they're getting all these surgeries and all these treatments to combat this disease. So one of the first things my doctor said to me when I got diagnosed is, in political more correct terms, is she's like, how are you still with us? Like, I don't know how I survived this, but I did. Wrestling put me in a wheelchair, activated this disease with my torn ligament injury, and I went undiagnosed for so long. And I never gave up. I went to 15 different doctors. In the expansion of 6.5 years, I went to 15 plus doctors. I went from chiropractors to regular doctors to sports medicine doctors to foot specialists to sports medicine doctor, foot specialists, and even to the NFL doctors. Like, I found in Cincinnati and Indianapolis, I found these doctors that dealt with the higher up sport athletes that deal with foot injuries. I went to, you name it. I went to them, and no one said CRPS. They didn't know.
So how did you eventually end up with the diagnosis? I mean, it just took one doctor.
Well, to be fair, this is a rare disease, and a lot of people are unaware of it, and that's kind of like my weird, like, mission now, even though I'm this, like, goth Barbie horror fanatic wrestler. Now all of a sudden, I have this heavy outstanding burden of I have to bring awareness to this, because I might have been strong enough to have survived the 6.5 years without pills and by raw dogging, like battling this. But there's other people out there, whether they're adults or children, that might be undiagnosed, and that's why I have to bring awareness to this as much as possible. And so, complex regional pain syndrome, there's no cure. It's on the pain charts that doctors give you. They label it. They have cancer, kidney stones. They have every single thing you can imagine. Like say you're in an accident and a doctor has to amputate one of your limbs without anesthesia. That pain you're in is nothing compared to the pain I'm in. You asked how I got diagnosed, and really what saved me. I went undiagnosed for so long until a fellow CRPS brother reached out to me, and they asked me in detail what I was experiencing. They asked me, give me details.
Right.
And I did. And then they sent me a link, and they're like, I'm so sorry, baby.
Well, we started this off heavy, didn't we?
Oh, it's
Man.
so intense. Guys, I'm an inspiration. Yay me, God. Thank you.
And in an effort to, obviously, when we're going to talk about it again, we want to be a beacon for people that are facing, this terrible disease.
Guys, if you have my sickness, or if you're battling chronic pain, or if you're battling a disability that's invisible and no one sees, just reach out, just find help. They have suggested a therapist and a good support team in your personal life. So bring awareness to CRPS. You are valid in your pain. And it's okay to be sick, guys. It's okay to be sick, and it's okay to follow your dreams.
So that leads us into wrestling. When did you catch the wrestling bug, would you say?
Okay, so you're going to be shocked because not the stereotype answer to that, Like, okay, so my friend Nathaniel, that has a similar gimmick, but he goes by the Kill Bully. So Nathaniel has the stereotype story that anyone involved in the business dominantly has. And what it is he was in diapers watching wrestling, and that's one of his first memories, and his grandma had it on, Mine started when I was 18 years old. I didn't get brought up with wrestling. Actually was a side gig. I was a valet, and I never was a fan of wrestling, never heard of it really, never watched it. So when I got involved with wrestling, I was the theater actor that was going to school. I was getting my associate's degree in art. I got accepted in the New York Film Academy, and I was really focused on my acting career. And this local talent told me about professional wrestling, and she believed I would be good as a valet. I looked at her as dead serious as I could, and I was like, how is parking cars going to help my acting career? Like, I genuinely don't understand you. And she's like, here. And I was introduced to YouTube videos of Miss Elizabeth and, Woman and Scary Sherry. So
Peace.
that was how, ignorant I was. Dead ass. So back then, let's see. Stone Cold Steve Austin could have been in an elevator with me, and I would have just thought it was a bald, buff dude. I knew nothing about wrestling.
It's a lot more common than you would think. So, not being a wrestling fan, you trained under Rikishi and Funaki. You obviously then, had no idea who they were on day one, no?
I'll tell you a funny story. When I meet famous wrestlers, even to this day, sometimes I have some of my entourage with me, some of my whether it's my managers or the bookers or my girlfriends or whatever, or Nathaniel. I'm like, sometimes I have meetings with people or hanging out with people or going to parties where I'm gonna meet people or I have these cons or whatever. And sometimes I'm like, who am I working with? Name right before I meet them, bare minimum, or a rundown of their bio of what they've done in wrestling, because I have no idea. Looking back at a lot of opportunities where I'm not such a mark, I just treat people like humans.
Yep.
And when I'm around everyone, I literally treat them like I'm treating you. And the people I talk to, I talk to you.
I'm sure they appreciate that, though, because they get tired of people like I used to be. Not
like
so much
trying to,
anymore,
like,
but yeah.
off or get job opportunities.
Exactly.
Like me, I'm just. This is literally it. This is how I come off.
So how did you end up being trained by Rikishi of all people?
Okay, funny enough, so when I went and, I was mentored by Bobby Blaze, and then now I'm being trained by Bobby right now as I'm monitoring my CRPS and getting back in the ring. Bobby, it's like a full circle moment. It's like that I'm with Bobby again. But so I was with Bobby Blaze, and then he really pushed me to be more than just the manager, because I paid my dues in wrestling. I went, and I didn't even know for like 4 years that I was supposed to get paid. Like, I didn't know we were supposed to, like, that meme, oh wait, you guys are getting paid? I would literally travel, whether it was 30 minutes up the road or 5 hours up the road. I would travel with the boys and be a valet, and I would set up the ring, do the show, tear it down, advertise for the show. Never got paid. Like, I did that for years. And then Bobby Blaze pulled me aside and was like, hey, listen, kid, you need to become a wrestler. You can make a career out of this. So then I went and trained under Funaki for just under a year. And you asked, how did I get connected with Rikishi? It was WrestleMania. Was in Dallas. And I was training at Funaki's, which was at San Antonio, because Funaki had his own Spartan gym at the time.
Right.
And now he's with the hybrid school, right? Now he's one of the trainers at the hybrid. Well, anyway, so in San Antonio, all of us kids drove up to Dallas to work all the indie shows. And there was this one company that was working literally in the parking lot of WrestleMania. It's like this random building that was there.
Right.
And it was Rikishi running a show, and it was like Territory League or something. And I was booked on it. So Nathaniel and I were booked on it, and we drove up there. Rikishi's intimidating. Let's just say that. I'm 5'2". I'm like 5'2", 150, and he's so freaking tall and massive, and I'm just like, this is an intimidating man. Like,
Yeah.
This is a bougie, intimidating guy. Sweetheart. So sweet. And it's so funny because here's the stadium of WrestleMania, all the big posters, all the big, banners outside, and then the strip, and then here's Rikishi sitting in his folded chair outside, and you had to go in through that door and past him, and that's how I was introduced. It's like, hi, sir, here to work. Hi, what's up? What do you want me to do? But yeah, that was ultimately like an audition, and then I got asked to come out to LA, and literally Nathaniel as well. We packed a suitcase, drove to LA, and for under a year we slept out of our vehicle, and we trained under Rikishi, and we did it the hard way. Our shoot job was night shift, so we had to sleep in the daytime, and we filmed everything because we knew no one would believe this story. But we slept in our vehicle in the daytime with no air conditioning in the hot sun of Los Angeles for just under a year to train under Rikishi. We paid our dues. We did it, and in the end, I was put in a wheelchair.
Yeah. That's not a fun ending to the story, but I mean, nobody can ever say that you didn't pay your dues. So what are you doing now that obviously you got hurt in school? You haven't been able to work, you're wrestling, obviously. So what are you doing to pay the bills now? I mean, do you have side hustles going on, or?
Basically, right now, I'm teaming up with my doctor to combat my CRPS, and I'm really focusing on my job right now is the gym. My job right now is training in the ring. My job right now to focus on my diet is not just for wrestling and to be into fitness. My diet is actually to combat my sickness, CRPS. There is a theory that if I stay away from high inflammatory foods, it could help my disease and combat it. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes, but I do have an OnlyFans if you guys would like to subscribe, support a struggling artist. And now, thankfully, though, my doctor has approved of occasional valet bookings depending on how my body can, like, as a valet, every time I'm there, I'm like, can I take a move? Can I give a move? Can I take a move? Can I do something? And everyone's like, no, all the blessings coming my way. And I just remember, guys, slow and steady. I am still sick. I don't want, to touch causes us more pain, and it's like, holy shit, that's your legs, that's your feet. And it's like, yeah, let's wrestle and just, it's hard. It's like, guys, CRPS, come on. Like I'm
Yeah.
trying. I know I'm all bubbly and stuff, but it's bad. It's bad,
Yeah.
and I am trying.
Well, we're hoping you're going to be back in the ring sooner than later. There is one booking
Thank
that
you.
I have to promote because Tracy Myers is a good friend of mine. You are going to be in Winston-Salem as of right now, November 29th through December 1st for WrestleCade.
Yes, you scared me. I was like, what have I forgotten? Oh my God.
I can just read it on your face.
What am I doing? Did I agree? Yes, I've been announced.
You're on the website. Yeah, you're promoted.
Okay, there's some. Listen, I announced a movie once. I announced. Oh God, I almost let slip what I'm doing this month.
About to get an exclusive Fans View podcast exclusive. Anyway, what I was getting to was you're obviously a fan of the horror genre and horror movies.
Me? No way. No, absolutely.
I know there's not even a chainsaw behind you. I don't even.
Those are like just those horror films. Like give me the ick. Like I mean,
I know you.
blood, guts on my.
Yeah, I think you're more of a Disney mark, but we're gonna talk about horror.
I still am. I'm both.
I believe it. So Mount Rushmore. I need your Mount Rushmore of horror. I'm putting you on the spot. I'm putting you on the spot. Let's do this. I need your Mount Rushmore. It can be a particular film or like an iconic character.
Am I allowed to do like it's 5, right?
4.
But I wanted to do 5. No.
We can do an honorable mention. How about that?
Okay.
We'll do
because like
4 and then an honorable mention.
You guys aren't gonna like my answer. You ready?
Oh, here we go. Go ahead.
Nosferatu.
Okay.
OG Leatherface.
Okay.
So can I do the stereotypes of Freddy and Jason? Well, I don't want to do the stereotypes of like just having. I know, but I feel like I let the fans down when I do it. No, but I feel like everyone expects me to say. Obviously, I meant Leatherface when I said it. I said that with my chest. But then Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers. Like everyone always says that, and I love them.
I mean, there's a reason they say that.
Well, okay. So I like the true founding father Leatherface because of what he did to the horror genre. He really did pave the way for Jason, for Michael Myers. If you look at it, not just on the timeline, but just on the concept of art. When you dissect these horror films, you see where they took, so to speak. So I'm gonna stick with just, Nosferatu is the 5th one on there. That's what I was trying to get at. I want to say, Leatherface, Jason, and Freddy are the 4. Obviously, those are the founding fathers. I think everyone's going to say that. I emphasize OG Leatherface, though, obviously. But the pesky 5th one is probably the OG founding father of Nosferatu. So you got to think how that impacted cinema.
Yeah, I'm a Michael Myers guy.
Really?
What's your
favorite one? What's your favorite Halloween?
Oh man, that is
OG?
Probably no.
What do you think of Rob Zombies as opposed to the new ones that are coming out? What are they, like the sequels technically right now? Came out? Sequels to the original, that's what I thought.
They were reboot. They were a complete reboot, I believe. Yeah, the Rob Zombie ones are fantastic. I love them. I could see why purists don't really care for them because they're so heavy on blood.
Okay, so Rob Zombie, when you watch his movies, you feel like you can smell them and taste them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like
it's
I'm gonna
graphic.
Get from watching.
Yeah, it's like I love it, but it is graphic just for the sake of being graphic.
And that's it. That's the thing. Like horror is what it is, but I feel like just for the sake of being graphic, for that shock value, I feel like it can take it a little down a notch. Like I said, out on the tacky side for me. But again, I am an OG. Like anything else with Rob Zombie though, I love the realism of it. Like I love that you can feel like you smell. I love that you could. He likes his art and he knows what he does. And I say this in so many interviews, so I know I'm manifesting this again. But I was supposed to be in one of his music videos actually back in the day. Yeah, I ended up not going.
Yeah, Rob Zombie's definitely got his own lane. That's for sure. It's a carved out little niche that he's.
But where I keep on just randomly talking about Rob Zombie, which horror related makes sense, but where I keep on talking about that one time, I'm like, man, I'm gonna work myself into another music video with him. That'd be so cool. I do it now. 10 years ago, I was a kid and scared.
Probably rightfully so.
I was like, I can't do this.
So my last question I have for you: what does success at this point in the wrestling business, specifically, kind of, what does success mean to you? Like, is it working for one of the 3-letter companies? Is it just wrestling enough to pay your bills and just have to wrestle? Or is it something else?
I feel as though just being blessed enough to be able to stand and walk was pretty cool. To be able to wrestle again in general, just to be able to finally have my wrestling career, that's truly, besides being pain free and cured of this disease, obviously, but just to be able to wrestle. So if we're just talking about what do I want out of wrestling, what is success, it's just to be able to wrestle again. That'd be so cool. Like, how fun would that be to be able to wrestle?
That's such a good answer. 'Cause,
No, so like that's the truth. I just want to wrestle. Like, and if I'm able to make some money from this and make a beautiful career and buy a house and be able to retire and have my own school one day and maybe my own foundation for CRPS and be able to hire doctors and scientists and be able to work on a cure, like maybe that's the all-time scheme goal. Let's shoot for the stars and get some of that,
get it. I think I'm out of my terrible questions. I just want to give you the platform to promote whatever you want to promote. Do we have a vague timetable of when you might be able to step back into a wrestling ring?
That's a good question. That's what has a lot of people confused. I was at the school of Morton, what was it, like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and a lot of people were like, hey, we saw your post about your doctor clearing you, like, why aren't you taking bookings, or why aren't you able to wrestle right now? And I'm just like, well, I'm sick, actively sick. It's not in remission. I'm literally doing this in a holistic manner, so all the odds are against me, and I am actively sick and not in remission yet. The goal is my doctor wants to put me in remission, so I'm pain free doing this. Because you guys got to remember, I am sick and I'm in chronic pain just sitting here. So imagine the high intensity of a physical wrestling match. Even as a manager, it hurts. So I am behind the scenes filming and documenting an organic study of CRPS and what it's like, weight training, what veganism does towards. We're filming everything to see if we could find a cure, guys, as I try to get back into the wrestling ring. There's a lot of serious shit going on behind the scenes, and I'm literally fighting for my life. My body is screaming that it's dying. Yet it's like, when are you gonna wrestle? And it's like, my body's saying I need to go to the hospital right now, but I promise I'm fighting. And I'm in the wrestling ring every week training, and we're monitoring the pain levels. And just like I'm training in the gym, where I'm training in the ring, and just like I learned how to walk again, I'm learning how to wrestle again. It's been 7 years, guys. 7 years of no wrestling, 7 years of combating this disease without any pain meds. I'm lucky to be here. Learning how to walk again was very hard. Learning how to wrestle again is very difficult, but I promise I'm not giving up, and I hopefully, as soon as this year, will be wrestling.
Hell yeah, that is so good to hear. So
Thank
where
you.
can people get at you if they want to, encourage you, if they want to learn about, your disease, if they want to,
Right.
where can people reach out to support you and, try to
Yeah,
learn
guys.
more?
Yeah, totally. Guys, I'm on all socials right now. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, on Facebook. You'll probably have a hard time finding me because I'm shadow banned. Let's fight these haters. I'm getting spam attacked. Help a bitch.
And are you Black Dahlia 47 on everything?
Yeah, basically. And you guys can subscribe to my OnlyFans, and yeah, it just follow my journey, because there's a lot of twists and turns in this. Like, one second I'm homeless shitting in a cup training under Hall of Famers, and the next second I'm in a wheelchair screaming, and then now I'm sitting with a pink chainsaw saying, hey, I'm gonna wrestle. Like, it's a weird story, guys. Let's do this.
You are one of a kind. Well, we at the Fans View want to say thank you so much. I appreciate your time and putting this together. And we really, really hope to see you in the ring super soon.
Thanks for the positivity. Thanks for having me on. And thank you guys for showing love and support. It's greatly appreciated.
And part 2's coming up. Marty Jannetty saga is coming, guys.
Sure.
We'll see you guys later.
Bye, guys.